help us understand how Bitcoin price is determined at the margin. As you say, if there are circa 19.8 million Bitcoin in circulation, roughly 4 million donated back, 4 to 5, depending on who you ask. I think it's more like 5. That means lost, the Satoshi stash, etc. And the ecosystem, roughly 80% HODL rate. That's about 76 to 73%, depending on which source you look at. That leaves roughly 3 million Bitcoin available to trade. Yes, between 2.3 and 3 million. I agree with you there. With that low level of available Bitcoin up for grabs relative to the total supply, how can the price be subject to high volatility given 85% of the total supply simply does not move? Very good question. So it all goes back to supply and demand economics. And it's also, you're hitting on one of the things that actually fascinates me about Bitcoin. So I tried to think up a simple analogy. One would be, I was trying to do a graphic of a donut store. You know, they've got 10 donuts on the shelf and they have a lot of buyers. In fact, if we look at this example I show you in a second, there'd be like 170 buyers for 10 donuts. What will happen to the price of those donuts? That's the question. So let me talk about an example of buyers. One is, we know there are about 56 million millionaires on Earth. All right, think about that. And this is from Bloomberg. This is the estimate of millionaires in 2026, which will be far north of 65 million. Of course, the threshold to become a millionaire goes down as fiat currency debases. And in a recent study I shared a week or two ago, many people now believe you need $3 to $5 million to retire because dollar won't go as far in the future. Anyway, getting back to this example, price at the margin. If you imagine, say, 50 million buyers, 50 million millionaires come in and they've got the money to buy Bitcoin, but they haven't bought it yet. And there's only 3 million people selling. If we go down to, imagine 2.99 million Bitcoin are all sold, there's only a tiny fraction left, and we have 47 to 57 million millionaires left to buy Bitcoin, the price is going to go through the roof. And that is what's exciting for me about Bitcoin. It is the hardest asset on earth. That's why I urge everybody just to get at least your foot in the door, get on the ladder, like getting on the property ladder, getting on the Bitcoin ladder. Very, very important. So the price is set at how much the buyer is willing to buy for each incremental Bitcoin compared to who is going to sell it and at what price. Because people that do hold Bitcoin, they do have their price. People I talk to, I'll sell one of them at 500 million or 500,000 and one at $1 million or whatever. Or they could say, I'll sell one at 67,000, depending on who they are. But as we go up, the scarcity will really kick in, and it's going to be an exciting thing to watch. And I'm excited for the next 8 years. And I don't know when the supply crunch is going to hit. As I mentioned, Jamie from Bloomberg, who was on my channel about 10 days ago, he believes it could happen at the end of this year. But we'll see.